Thank you, Lord Provost, Leader and elected members for this opportunity to speak today. We are presenting this deputation on behalf of Edinburgh Women's Aid, Edinburgh's Specialist Domestic Abuse Service. I'm Linda Rogers, CEO of Edinburgh Women's Aid. We exist to support women and children affected by domestic abuse in Edinburgh and have been doing this successfully for more than 50 years. We support more than 2,000 women and more than 250 children each year. Year on year, our services get busier and busier as more and more women and children come forward from support. We're here to urge the City of Edinburgh Council to reject motion number 8.5 for the following reasons. This motion should be opposed not only because of the veiled threat to our funding, but because of the explicit threat to our ability to use our expertise to deliver the best, most trauma-informed and safest services to women and children affected by domestic abuse in Edinburgh. In our 2024 Care Inspectorate inspection, we were graded 6 outstanding by the Care Inspectorate. We are the experts in our field of work and in the delivery of services to vulnerable women and children in Edinburgh, and we need to be able to decide how that is best done. Our organisation was set up by women who recognised that women and children who were being abused had nowhere to go. Over the years, we've successfully campaigned to improve women and children's rights to housing, services and justice. Everyone benefits from the improvements in the law that we, our predecessors and our sisters around Scotland have worked for tirelessly. Our long-standing policies, just because they're in the news doesn't mean they're new, are in line with the provisions of the Equality Act and are part of our trauma-informed approach. All of our work is informed by the 6 principles of trauma-informed practice: safety, trust, choice, collaboration, empowerment, and cultural consideration. Women who have been abused have the right to expect a trauma-informed service. Our policy on group work rests on feedback from survivors that they would self-exclude from groups that included trans women. In particular, we found that women from vulnerable and minoritised communities were most likely to voice this. We operate a fine balance between meeting the needs and the rights of the different communities we serve, but we will always prioritise women's feelings of safety in our service provision and work in line with our trauma-informed principles. Further, this motion appears to be based on a misrepresentation of our services. The wide range of services that we offer includes telephone, court advocacy, drop-in, one-to-one support all over the city. As part of our homelessness contract with the Council and within our wide range of services, we provide a small number of shared refuges, 20 spaces. As part of this contract, we're required to provide single-sex spaces in these shared refuge. This is the same criteria applied to all single-sex homeless accommodation in Edinburgh. But as well as being a criteria for our contract, Edinburgh Women's Aid has always operated its shared refuges as single-sex services for the dignity, safety and privacy of the women using these accommodations. We also run 11 single occupancy refuges which are not subject to the same constraints, and trans women can access these if required. The motion refers to Edinburgh being a welcoming city for LGBTQ+ people, which we fully welcome. City of Edinburgh Council is always also signed up to Equally Safe, Scotland's strategy to tackle violence against women and girls. City of Edinburgh Council's commitment to meeting both these aspirations is admirable, but they are not mutually exclusive. But equally, they do not mean that every service is open to every single person. Specialist services exist for a reason, and tailoring services to minorities and/or particular groups who are vulnerable is to be welcomed and is not in and of itself exclusionary. It's always disappointing that women's organisations, particularly those set up to tackle men's violence against women, are the only organisations that are targeted on the matter of single-sex services. And it's interesting that there's no mention in the motion of a similar concern about men's homelessness shelters in Edinburgh. I'm happy to confirm that Edinburgh Women's Aid remains the leading provider of domestic support to all women in Edinburgh, and that within the remit of our service, as a service by and for women, we regularly and effectively provide support to the LGBT community and will continue to do so. LGB women and females who identify as non-binary and are impacted by domestic abuse can use all and any of our services. Trans women impacted by domestic abuse can access all of our services with the exception of group work and shared refuge. Our children's service is open to anyone affected by domestic abuse under the age of 18. In the year 24-25 to date, We have worked with 2,336 women. 4.5% of them disclosed an LGBT identity to us. Almost 60% of those were bisexual women. 19%, less than 1% of the overall number, were trans women. 11% were lesbians, and 2% were non-binary. Anyone facing...
to ask you to sum up, please.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyone facing abuse in their relationship deserves support, and we work closely with the other providers of domestic abuse support in the LGBT community to provide a high-quality, coordinated community response.